Well, hello guys, Christian Stylez back for another video. And I have to do this video in great sadness because I really don't like having to do this kind of stuff, and I just don't think that, well, the nature of this subject, it is necessary, but I feel like from a personal aspect, like personally, I don't like doing these kinds of things, um, because I feel like everybody has the right to make money. Everybody has the right to run a business. I'm running a successful business. I think any person should have that right without backlash. Although there are backlash when you don't do what you're supposed to do and when you do people wrong. And I am 100% in support of that and justice being served in this particular case. But I do not like putting people's business and the way that they make money and their livelihood on Front Street. I just want to make sure that that is clear. But when you do me wrong, and you know you did me wrong, and you were given multiple opportunities to fix the problem, and rather than doing so, you cop an attitude and make this situation something that it shouldn't be, well then that's what I have a problem with, and that's what I'm here to address now. So, without further ado, let's get into the video, guys. Alright guys, so I got my handy dandy phone here, and let's get into it. So, I'm going to start with the Facebook post because I put out a Facebook post. For those of you who don't follow me on Facebook, I suggest you guys go follow me. My Facebook is Christian Stylez, obviously, just like everything else is. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to read this post. So, I went ahead and I posted, and this is all happening in real time, guys. I just posted this morning. Today's date is April 9th, 2024, and I just posted this. Just this, like, an hour ago, maybe, or 2 hours ago. And I put anyone in Hinesville, Georgia, or Savannah, or Richmond Hill, or any other surrounding cities, buyers beware of Facebook Marketplace car dealer license holder Christopher Scott that goes by the Judge Scott, because he does a lot of messy stuff on Instagram and Facebook by that name. He pretends to be a judge and reads people and puts their children on Front Street and just horrible, horrific things. He talks about people's children, like minors, and it's bad. And I've watched these lives, and it's honestly one of the most disgusting things I have ever seen. And there is such a thing as being a comedian, there's such a thing as being funny, and there's such a thing as going too far. And I feel like a lot of his content goes way too far, and it hits below the belt, and you know, all I'm doing is presenting the facts of this particular situation. So, to help other people that also buy from Facebook Marketplace, to make sure that you don't come across this individual and to just be careful when you're buying on Facebook Marketplace. So this video is obviously a Facebook Marketplace, you know, buyers beware, basically. So, and I put anyone in Hinesville or Savannah or Richmond Hill or any other surrounding cities, buyers beware of the Facebook Marketplace car dealer license holder Christopher Scott that goes by the Judge for most of the Judge Scott for most of his business dealings. So let me tell y'all a story. So on Friday, March 22nd, so just like I said, today is April 9th, so this is fresh. On April 22nd, I bought a vehicle via Facebook Marketplace, like I always do. Every single vehicle I own have come from there. Didn't think anything of it until I reached the address given, and I put the address in Savannah, Georgia, which happened to be his father's home, where he had a few vehicles for sale on the property and parked along the street there. I waited about 10 minutes upon arrival for his father to come outside, and then I looked under the hood and I listened to the vehicle run. Then I took it for what I would consider to be a long enough test drive to see if the vehicle would show signs of needing repair. Didn't sense anything, only going 15 miles an hour through a neighborhood, like it was in a neighborhood. I'm not gonna floor it down the street in a fucking neighborhood where there's kids and everything else. I just didn't think that was right. But I took it for a long test drive because of that reason, you know, like, let me go around all the streets, up and down all the streets in this neighborhood, and it's one of the terrible roads in Savannah neighborhoods. And so the car was going up and down the suspension and stuff, like, to feel how it was responding. And in any case, So, proceeded to check all the outside and interior lights. You know, the headlights, the fog lights, the high beams, the low beams, the tail lights, the reverse lights, and the third brake light. This is Georgia. They pull you over for stuff like that. I've already had many instances being arrested and all that for lights that just are not correct. And then if you don't fix them, then it's like this big old fine, and you get all these tickets. And I have tickets right next to me, like $800 worth of tickets. Like, it's no joke here when you don't have your lights working. And it's darker here than it is in South Florida. So I'm from South Florida, where everything is like lit. It's not like that here. It's dark, and I almost literally hit a deer the other day. Like, it just ran in the middle of the road, and I was driving to work at 2 in the morning, and I had to swerve around it. Like, this is, your lights need to work here. And so I waited an additional 2 hours for the seller's sister to arrive on the scene, because it was her vehicle that her brother bought, that her brother, the seller, had bought for her some years back to use as a daily driver. So how did I get that information? He told me that information, plain and simple, and I have all the text messages and whatnot that I will put in this video so that you guys can see what our conversation consisted of. Aside the fact from us getting really, really friendly with each other, and I wanted to, keep, that saying, keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer. I had a feeling that this was going to get worse and worse as time progressed. So my thought was, let me get him close to me and feel some type of way towards me and about me. So maybe then that will make him do the right thing, because he's, getting infatuated with me. So let me try to use my brain here, because if not, I could end up with thousands of dollars of repairs, which I have already spent the money out of my pocket to fix the truck. And so the truck works, but by no means did he help me with any of those things. I came out of my personal pocket and put almost $10,000 into the truck. And the truck should have been worth $3,400 as it sat when I bought it. But I paid $6,000 for it. So had I known all these things were wrong with it, I could have haggled down the price, because there's no way in hell that a vehicle with all these issues should have been worth what I paid for it. Technically, it wouldn't be. So that means that any known issues about the vehicle she would also be aware of. And as I asked her, she proceeded to lie, just like her brother did. So while we were sitting there and I was looking over the car when she got there, I was asking her, do you know any issues with the car? Like, since it was your car, since you drove your kids around or whatever in the vehicle, do you know anything I should be aware of? And she was like, no, the truck, I got a new one. He bought me a new one, so it was whatever. We're getting rid of this one. And so your brother bought you a brand new Volkswagen Tiguan, and brand new, brand spanking new. And she just was like, the hell with this car. But if you were driving it daily, wouldn't you have known that it was missing first gear, that the transmission was missing and it was jumping and it would overheat? And wouldn't you know those things? Because clearly there must have been a reason you stopped driving it. You didn't just stop driving it because it was too big for you, as she was saying. You stopped driving it because there was something wrong with it. Right or wrong? Because nobody just stops driving a perfectly functioning car just because they want a new one. They work their ass off until they can afford a new one, and they keep the one that they have, just like I've done with all 9 of my cars. Yeah. So, I believe their story because the truck was working fine, or so I thought. They told me since the bank was closed and it didn't process the transfer of the funds right away, like banks usually do at Friday after 4 p.m., that when the money cleared, I could take the vehicle off the property, and I was only allowed to take the key to the vehicle. Now, let me tell you exactly in full detail how this went. So, when I transferred over the money, it said that my bank said you have to go in and accept it. He went in and accepted the funds. It sent me an email saying that he accepted the funds. Let me see if I can find that email, just so that, there's a whole bunch of transparency here. I just want you guys to be aware of every last little detail of this situation here. So, I think that it is absolutely important that I show you guys this, because in a Facebook post or in a Instagram post, I'm not able to full on show you guys every explicit detail, because the post just won't allow you to keep going with all of these details. So that's why I'm taking the time to look for this stuff now, so that you guys can clearly see what's what, and then you guys can make your own conclusion towards the end of the video and in the comment section, what you guys believe the right thing should have been. Because I'm not saying I'm 100% right at this particular moment, but all I'm saying is I know what's going on here. So as it says on the top of the screen, it says that Judge Scott accepted your payment. You can sort of kind of see it. Now these things, I don't know if it's going to focus. Oh, there it is. There we go. Focus. 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 There we go. So that's $3,241 on March 22nd at 6 p.m. After 4 p.m., banks are closed, and the processing date is Monday for a transfer or a referral or whatever. When you transfer to another bank account, Monday is the processing day, and 2 days after that is when you would receive the funds in your account. So they didn't want me to move the car until then. And that was when my red flag went off. Like, why? Why don't they want me to move the car again? There's something that they're hiding. And so when I finally took the time to move it, okay, so like I said in the post, that didn't sit right with me. So that next morning, when I woke up from working, when I got off from working a 12-hour shift, I went back to the vehicle, cleaned it completely with $380 worth of cleaning supplies, which I still have the receipt for. I went to Walmart that morning as soon as I got off at 7 a.m. and I went to Walmart because they open at 6 a.m. and I bought a whole bunch of stuff, leather conditioner, wheel stuff, all of that stuff, and because it was absolutely gross, all those kids or whomever was in that vehicle, it was disgusting. And so I cleaned it because there's no way any vehicle of mine is going to look any kind of way. So I went and I cleaned it up outside the property. His father came out and everything and asked, good morning, how are you, what are you doing? And I said, I'm just cleaning up the vehicle, I'm going to go ahead and take it today. And he was like, okay. And he even put my license plate on the back of the car for me, because I didn't have screws. So he went to go get the correct bolts and put the license plate on the back of the car so I could roll it down the street. So little did I know it wasn't going to get very far, but that's neither here nor there. I didn't know that at the time. So, and when I got over to the truck and I attempted to head home, 53 miles home to Hinesville, Georgia, it got 32 minutes away and then overheated and started jumping like crazy due to a transmission issue and a busted radiator, which they clearly knew because he admitted that he knew about the radiator. He just thought it was fixed. Who was going to fix it? It was going to get fixed by osmosis, by the movement of water. It's just going to automatically, bibbidi-bobbidi-boo. It's going to be fixed. Did you check to see if it was? When you first get a message on Facebook that says, I'm interested in the vehicle or whatever, my first instinct automatically is, let's see if this car is running properly. That's just the first thing that comes to anybody's fucking mind, is let's go ahead and see if this vehicle is working the way it's supposed to. Does that seem outrageous? No. That's what you're supposed to do. So you call your mechanic or whomever, your father, whoever is fixing the car, and you tell them, somebody's coming to look at it and may potentially buy it. There's never been a time where I go look at a vehicle and walk away from it, usually, if I like it. If I like it enough, I will buy it. And just like I even told him over the phone when we were trying to figure out the money situation, I said, I'll even pay you more for it if I can leave with the car. But they still didn't, want to do that because they didn't know if the funds were actually going, even though it said they accepted the payment. And once you accept the payment, it's not going to reverse back to me. There's no way possible for that to happen. And I didn't want the money back because I wanted the truck. You see, so I stopped at a red light right outside their neighborhood, and that's when it all happened, like when I started to really feel the transmission issue. And I'm like, okay, so it's having an issue at 20 miles per hour, like from 0 to 20 miles per hour. It starts to, after the transmission has heated up, it has problems. And so it nearly threw me into the rear of somebody else, because when I was trying to press the gas, the truck wouldn't go, and then it just all of a sudden, boom, and it almost threw me into the back of somebody else's car. Now, thank God the brakes work. I hit the brakes real hard, and the truck kind of swerved a little, and I turned the wheel so I didn't hit the back of that person's car in front of me. Now, I told him all this when I pulled over to call AAA. I was stuck in a Hardee's parking lot waiting for AAA for 11 fucking hours. Kid you not. I can even show you where AAA gave me a free service call back because I waited 11 hours for them to show up that day. Fresh off of work. So I worked 12 hours, went to go get the car, got stuck, waited in the car for 11 hours for AAA to show up with no sleep, and I went into work as soon as AAA came and brought the car to where it was going, to my mechanic for it to be fixed. I went into work with no sleep, nothing but 2 Red Bulls. And there is no sympathy for that. And I was on the phone with the owner, the sister, the technical owner of the car. So much so, I haven't even brought the car to get my name on it yet. That's how new and fresh this is. And if you really want to know, if you really want to see, let me go get the title real quick so I can show you guys I'm not bullshitting. Give me just 1 second. Okay, so here is the, let me see if I can get it to focus. 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 Let me see if I can get it to focus. It's not, I don't want to focus. Okay, hold on. Oh, it might be because it's too bright. Okay, let me see. Does that help? Oh, yes, it does. Okay. So, there's the title. As you can see, whose name is that? That's his sister's name on it. Okay? So, there's the official title. Okay? So, my thing is, we haven't even gotten that far yet, because all of this stuff was going on with it, and I figured, let me just wait on that. And I didn't even get it until, what date was it? Let me, hold on, because I didn't tell you exactly what date it was that I picked it up. April 1st, so 8 days ago, because it's the 9th. So I picked it up on April 1st. So all of this that was happening prior with the truck that I'm letting him know is happening, and he is doing absolutely nothing. I'm paying for repairs and all this stuff. They still had the title while all this was going on. But they were in the Dominican Republic, spending it, doing whatever, having a grand old time, instead of handling business like they should have been. And so that is the number one reason why I don't feel bad about doing what I'm doing now. So then, when I pulled over, with the busted radiator, I said, so I pulled over, and called AAA, both the seller and technically the owner of the vehicle, the seller's sister. And I told them what needed to be done to resolve the matter so it didn't end up in a heated lawsuit that has since been filed. So, I gave them time to fix the radiator and all those things. And they gave me bullshit excuses and did absolutely nothing about it. Acted like, oh, well, we don't have to do shit. You don't? Okay, well, let's see how far that gets you. So, the seller said he would pay for the radiator. Okay, so that's Christopher Scott. He said, the Judge Scott, ridiculous. He said that he would pay for the radiator. Okay, and then with no clear context as to what pay for the radiator meant. Turns out, once the work was completed and paid for, I paid my mechanic $600 for a $587 bill plus tip, and the seller doubled back and said that he would only pay his discounted dealer price that he would have gotten for the part at AutoZone, because apparently the gentleman, he went to the most expensive parts store because he used O'Reilly's and he wasn't going to pay for that. Okay, so here's the mechanic bill. Right here. New radiator. What does that say, guys? 587, right? And I gave him 600 cash, obviously, for the tip. I don't know why he didn't put 600, but anyways, the tip, I guess, doesn't really count because that's not for the work. But now, anyhow, so I'm out $600, okay? And at this point, I'm like, all right, let's see what we can do. So when I talked to him about it, this is what he said. So let me find that. Let me find that. Okay. Okay, so first of all, this is the radiator that he pulled out of the truck. Okay? He said it was completely dry and exhausted. There was no water, no life, no oils, no nothing left in it, and that could fuck up the transmission. So if they had been driving it like that and they knew it was broken and they didn't fix it right away because it was still trucking on, now there's probably something wrong with the transmission. I said there is something wrong with the transmission. It's missing first gear. So there's that. Then the other thing was he sent me the receipt for the actual part. And if you guys cannot see that, again, like I said, these pictures in full context will be in the video towards the end. So he paid a total of, the subtotal is $282 for the part, and 305.63. So altogether, he must have paid somewhere around $300 for it because the sales tax is $22.64. So he paid $305 basically, and so the most he said that he'll give me was $200 for it, which $300 would almost be half of what I paid. So that's what it should have been. But see, I'm still being nice to him, like, okay, you know what, I'm going to take the $200. Because it's not about the money, it's about the principle of the matter, as everybody on here knows. Does it look like I'm struggling? I am fine. I have always been fine. I will always be it. And I will always have it like that. But my thing is, don't take my kindness for weakness. Don't think that you're going to use me and abuse me and everything is going to be fine and everything's going to be kicking because I think that you're a nice person. And like I told him, I said, I really do feel bad about the situation and everything that's going on because I tried to still buy from him because he's a gay African-American man in America. And I'm going to support him because he's in my community and he's part of everything that I stand for and stuff like that, and he's black. So he's a double minority. Not only is he the biggest faggot, but he is a double minority. So he's African American, which people already don't like black people as it is, and then on top of that, he is known for the biggest faggotry in the world, period. And this is why people don't like gay black men, is because of this right here, and the ooh sister girl, I'm gonna get them, and the drama and all that and the bullshit. And you don't see me doing anything like that on here because I'm a class act. He gives everybody in the community, gay, straight, or not, whatever you identify as, he gives us all a bad name, and that is what I will not tolerate, and that is disgusting to me. So I told him what it was. I sent him the receipt and everything. And so he said, also, he went to a really expensive parts store. Do y'all see that? He went to the most expensive parts store. Okay. And so, so then he called me and I spoke to him on the phone and he said, I can't afford that. And I said, well, I'll split the difference with you. Just, give me something because now I'm out all this money. Okay? And he wants me to wait almost 3-4 weeks for something that he already had and should have put aside when he went to the Dominican Republic. So I said, you drive a Tesla, you got your nails done, you did all that. I don't have my nails done, I don't drive a Tesla, I don't do any of that. Well, as you can see, my nails are done, but this was prior to that. But I'm saying, I have the money and I have the know-how and I can do that, and I'm a cosmetology specialist and I'm all these things. So for me to have my nails done, this is a normal occurrence. But I'm saying, when you owe somebody money, you don't go and do all of those things and then flash your car and everything else on social media like anybody really gives a shit, because clearly you're living beyond your means. Because if you can't afford to pay somebody back or give somebody back half the purchase value of a vehicle that you shouldn't have sold at the price you sold it at and with the issues that you sold it with, then clearly you're living above your means, sweetie. clearly you can't afford to live the life that you want people to think that you're living. And so I was trying to be very nice and professional and whatever, and I mean, I don't know what else there is, and I told him, I said that this can of transmission fluid was in the back of the car. As you can see, that's the '08 Suburban. That's in the back of the car, which means it was there prior to me purchasing the car. Someone was going to use it at some point. So don't say that you didn't know about the transmission. You didn't know that anything was fucked up. You didn't know these things. You absolutely did. Somebody knew who was working on the car because they went to go get it to dummy fix and put a Band-Aid over the issues that the car had. And so I sat there, and it's a shame because I was so excited to have gotten the car. I was so excited. I didn't want anything to go wrong. And then we had all these conversations, and we were getting to know each other and be friendly, and it just took a turn for the worst, because at this point, he just lied and lied and lied. And so I'm going to play the audio message for you guys, and I hope you guys are able to hear this, but I'm going to go ahead and play it for you guys.
Okay, love, I did not know, like I said again, me knowing something wrong with the vehicle, I would never sell it like that. On top of that, when I said I put money into the vehicle, I mean like the belts, the alternator, the motor was rebuilt. It's a lot of other things I did other than struts and stuff. Like the timing, all of that has been changed. All of that has been done. That's what I'm saying as far as me putting money into a vehicle. As far as me getting my nails done, driving a Tesla, this not my only source of income. I work hard for what I do. I'm an influencer. I have a weight loss company. I had a hair company. So me selling cars didn't get it all there. I had to get out there and grind and hustle, along with good credit. Thank you, but let me know how you want to go about this.
Okay, so he grinds and he hustles. So where's my money? Where's my money? Because the fact of the matter is, I shouldn't have had to pay over $500 for any repair whatsoever. Period. The vehicle is still in y'all's name. If you guys were going to fix the problem and do right by your customers, you guys would have taken the whole bill, part and labor, regardless of whether or not it was more than what it should have been, or apparently my mechanic is getting over on me, and all these different things. This is what it is. These are the facts. This is what's going on. So this is what I presented to you, and this is what you are now responsible for, because now you owe me more than 10 grand. At this point, because of all the money that I've already put into the truck. So when they get the lawsuit and they realize that it's for more than 10 grand, what are y'all gonna say then? Because I have receipt after receipt after receipt for every single fucking repair and thing that I had paid for. So then, and I did, like I said, I called him out for having his nails done in the Tesla and all that, because I don't have those things. I don't need those things to show off and to act like I'm above it. People that have it, people that are humbled and are really doing the damn thing out here, we don't need a flashy car to prove that point. We don't need designer clothes. We don't need any of that to prove our point. Sometimes being humble shows who you really are before a flashy item does. Because you're living above your means, and half the people that drive Mercedes-Benz, BMW, all of the Rolls Royces, they don't really credit, like you said, maybe would have gotten you those things, but you can't really afford to live that lifestyle. You can't really afford to have those things. You're living above your means, and that's why you're struggling to give me the money back, because if you weren't, why not pay the whole thing? And like I explained to him, sometimes you got to take a loss on a sale when you've done somebody wrong. And so I explained all these things to him, and to no avail. It just didn't go anywhere. So I'm sitting here and I'm trying my hardest to be reasonable about the situation, and he just didn't understand. So after that, I responded.
But that
that's my whole point. I'm like, my issue is I'm not angry or upset about it at all. I'm just saying that it can't be, you know, it's not the be all end all to put a percentage of what you made off the sale into getting the car running the way it's supposed to, is what I'm saying. It can't be that much to fix what's wrong with it. And I know that because I've done it before. So you really would not lose out. You would gain in the long run, is what I'm saying. Because then you have a happy customer that brings other happy customers because you handled the situation the way you're supposed to. That's what I'm saying. It's not about anything else at this point. It's really about doing the right thing. I don't have no issue with you or your sister at this point. There's no problem because, like I said before, I would have kept the car regardless. I would have bought the car regardless if you had just if someone had let me know. Maybe you specifically didn't know. But somebody knew something, is what I'm saying. There should have been at least that kind of a conversation, some kind of a warning. Even as is paperwork, had me sign as is paperwork or something such as that, I'd have probably done that too, because of the condition of the vehicle, so, and the age of the vehicle. So there's going to be things that go wrong. That's perfectly fine. It's normal. It's an older vehicle. They have problems. That's not the issue. I'm fine with that. But I'm saying, priority wise, if you cared that much about doing what's right, it wouldn't, the cost shouldn't trump you doing the right thing. Okay, does that make sense? Because I'm out here and I'm grinding. I'm in the Amazon building for more than 136 hours a week. I totally get grinding, doing what you gotta do, and I'm on YouTube and everywhere else, and I'm making money in several other ways. And I would never let someone that's going through something, that took a service or bought a service from me, and let them leave with anything less than positive thoughts and feelings about what I did as a business owner and a business transaction. It's all business at the end of the day, regardless about how I feel about you personally. Put that aside, because I don't think there's anything wrong with who you are as a person. I'm just saying I would not be concerned with what suits my personal fancy right now. I would be more concerned with making sure that my reputation stays pure and, you know, keeping it going like that. And that's why I said I do appreciate that you're helping with the radiator, because that may solve 90% of the problem. Okay, so as you can clearly see, I was sitting there and I was trying to work with him and everything, and all he said back was, "Okay, I understand." So I said, "Cash at me $540 because the truck is fixed." And that's when he said he could get a discounted part, as you guys can see. Cash at me the $540. The truck is fixed. I'm still waiting on the payment to come through the bank. So when the payment came through the bank, why didn't you set that money aside? Why didn't you put that aside rather than saying, you know what? And that's proof right there that he was going to then pay exactly what I was asking him to pay. So he was going to, the original plan was for him to pay for the entire thing. And then now all of a sudden, let's go. Come on, in. Come on.
Go, Georgia.
And so the original plan was that, so that he was gonna pay everything, and that's proof right there that he was planning on paying it, because he said, "Oh, you know, it didn't come through yet." And he said, I have an account, a discount account at AutoZone. That's why I told you I would get the part." Okay, but what am I supposed to do? Well, you're in the DR and whatever. I just spent $6,000 on a car. What am I supposed to do? Just let it sit there and be out of commission? You don't know my life. You don't know what I needed the car for. You don't know what I needed it to do for me and my life. You have absolutely no idea what it was for. Whether I put it in my personal name, whether I put it in Christian Stylez Incorporated. You have no idea what I was getting ready to use the truck for. I had to delay a trip to Florida. I had to be behind on some of my bills here while I'm figuring out what to do, because I just put out $600 that I wouldn't have if he had done what he was supposed to do. Then put out an additional $1,200 to fix an oil problem. Then put out another fucking $1,500, or actually $1,600 to fix the fucking transmission because it's fucking missing first gear and all of those things. And I had to call my guy in fucking South Florida and get the car towed all the way down there for an additional $600 so that he can fix it in 2 days' time, and I have to tow it all the way back up this way to Hinesville, Georgia. You don't think that you owe me anything at this point? You don't know what the fuck I'm doing, and for you to act like you're the only motherfucker with fucking bills, okay? Everybody else in the world pays bills without doing the faggotry you do on Instagram and everywhere else. I don't have to do that to make money. At all. So, the principle of the matter is, I don't give a fuck how a bitch feels about anything. I'm just making sure that the people that support me, and the people that follow me, and the people that live in these states, and because he lives in Houston, Texas, who's to say he doesn't have this game running there too, with people? And that's why I felt the need to mention that in the Facebook post, just so if y'all see anything like that being offered up in the city that he currently lives in, to just beware of his name and everything that he does, because I don't want anybody else buying anything from him. Because then, when y'all end up like this, I did my part. I warned my people. I warned as many people as possible. How many people this video reaches, I have done my part. So let's go back to the Facebook post. And let's finish. So, here's the Facebook post. So then, where was I? Okay, so then he said that he would pay for it at a discounted price because he gets a discounted price at AutoZone, and which was $200, and he told me that on April 1st at 6:26 p.m. That's several days after it was fixed, as the work was completed on March 25th, 2024. I reached out to ask about the payment on Thursday of last week, and his response was, I haven't forgot, love. So, and literally, that exact wording, I haven't forgot, love. I haven't forgotten, love. So, a couple days went by as my bills are piling up. Lots of bills are piling up of mine. Lots of them. And I sat here and I had to put a lot of things on the back burner, okay, while I'm still trying to figure out what's going on. So I put out an additional $4,000 to get the car and running in condition. So getting the car back is out, but you paying for everything that I put into the car because it was your responsibility to begin with. And as messy as this was, that's what I'm seeking. And that's what I will get. And because your sister's name is on it, guess who I'm suing? So that Volkswagen Tiguan, she might as well hand the keys over, because I am going to go through the court and I am going to take her for everything she's got, and I'm going to come after you too. Point blank, period, dot. Let me show you what you have caused. Utility bill, I had to pay, late as fuck. Rent, I had to pay, late as fuck. I got the receipt over there on the counter because I'm sitting here trying to figure out what to do about the car you sold me. Again, you don't know, you're not the only person with bills. I have a lot of bills and a lot of property that I have to keep up with. So this is why you don't do people wrong, because when you cross the wrong person, this is the result. And now your father is involved, and he's going to go down, and his address is involved, and he's going to go down. You have no idea who I am, but you're about to find the fuck out. So here it is. So a couple days went by while my bills are piling up after having to pony up for a repair that I shouldn't have even had to pay for at all. And then I gave him a deadline as of Monday the 15th of April because that is when the suit will be filed. So by the time this video goes up tonight, sweetie, you still have the time to make it right. If you don't, and I file for $10,200 in which you owe me now for the entire purchase of the car and every bit of money I put into it, you're not going to like the way that goes. So I suggest, just like you told me, I suggest you make my Cash App ring, and now. So he snapped back and said, don't ever text my phone like that ever, and that he just paid bills. Like he's the only motherfucker in the world that has bills to pay. I am more successful than he will ever be. I have more bills that I have paid and sent through than any other person around me. My credit is 800 and above, sweetie. There's nothing I can't do, can't afford, can't get. Because I do what I'm supposed to do. And when someone fucks with that, I have a problem. I have children to take care of. I have a family of my own. I have several households to keep up. I have other cars to manage. So, like I said, I urge every last one of the 100,000 views that I get here on YouTube, everybody that watches me, whether y'all are subscribed or not, the channel on the whole gets 100,000 plus views. To be very careful where you buy things from as far as Facebook Marketplace. This is a Facebook Marketplace, buyers beware. That's what this is about. And I just want you guys to know that. So he doesn't get away with this shit ever again for any reason ever. Meanwhile, while all this was going on, he was on vacation in the Dominican Republic. I'm pretty sure I mentioned that, but that is the key point to all of this. And he spent all the money as soon as it hit the account. And it hit the account that that next Wednesday from the Friday the 22nd, that next Wednesday, the money hit the account. And the reason I know that is because I had sent my banker an email and she had called me saying that they did in fact receive the funds. So when they received the funds, and I texted him that that I just got off the phone with her, I never received a message after that. Never. I didn't get no message after that until I had an issue with the oil, and then I messaged him again. There's something wrong with the oil, and then that's when he responded. He skipped over what I said all together about I know you received the money. So he had the opportunity to give me the money then, and he chose not to. And I'm supposed to feel bad when? Not happening. So, after seeing the post on Facebook, he sent me this message, okay? And here's his social media, guys, just so you guys are aware. Okay, his little weight loss company or whatever, he got plastic surgery to lose that weight. He didn't, he's just trying to scam people. And then he said, when he said he'll send the $200, there's that. Okay, he lost his thing on the trip and blah, blah, blah. And then when I told him about the oil pump, he said the oil pump had been replaced and all those things, which clearly isn't true because I just spent so much money out of my pocket. Then he said, don't text my phone like that ever. I will pay the money when I get it in a few weeks. I just paid bills. I am going to pay you the price for the part that I would have paid at AutoZone. No, bitch. You pay the whole thing that I had to come out of my pocket for the truck to run. That's what the fuck you pay. Because you had the money to do so and you did not. You did not take it seriously. And here's his other personal account. I don't care what y'all do. Y'all go spam it. Y'all go do whatever the hell y'all want to do to the account. Comment nonstop. show up for me. I promise you, you know, y'all do whatever the hell y'all want to do. I don't care. I'm putting this out there so everybody else knows what not to do and who not to deal with on Facebook Marketplace and any other site, period, that there may be. So, and then the pictures of him at the DR are all over the thing. So there's one half of the payment right there. Okay, and what does that say? Then another. Then the Cash App payment. There's the remainder. Right there. Do y'all not see that? $2,309, right? Okay, so I'm not crazy. This is the advertisement for the 2 cars. Okay? And the Armada that was sitting there in the thing, it wouldn't even turn over. He was trying so hard to get it to turn over. One of the people took the battery out of my car to get that shit to start after I had already paid for the vehicle. And then the father and him were stupid enough to tell me that when I got there and it wouldn't turn on, and he was like, oh, I gotta hook the cables back up to it because we used it for the other car because the other car wouldn't start. You don't touch someone else's vehicle after they already paid for it. That's another thing too. You don't do that shit. Point blank, period, dot. So then he's getting messages like this because people think that he's hot shit when he's not. So, Judge, I don't know you, but you be on dressing on point and nice car and everything, and I know people be hating on you. Nobody's hating. He's as broke as a joke, and it's all Front Street. It's all Front Street. He's just fronting for the camera. He don't got shit, because if he did, he would have given me my money. He'd have been big balling like I was big balling when I gave him $6 grand, then offered to pay more to fix his problem. That's big balling. That's having money, not whatever the fuck he's presenting online. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, they are highlight reels. That is not how people really live. At all. And it shows. And so there's his little Tesla cleaning it up. Oh, yeah, you know, I got all this money. Whoop, whoop. Yeah, run me my shit. Then I gave all the quotes and the repairs and how much I paid and everything, and then the receipt and then the radiator. And then his last text message to me was, I suggest you remove that post off of Facebook before I file sexual harassment and charges and expose the real you online. Honey, expose whatever the fuck you feel like exposing. Go ahead. Just like I said, go ahead. Go ahead, let's see how far you get. You see that? And he said, watch. Honey, I'm watching, but you better be watching me. That's it for this one, guys. Stay perfectly imperfect. And I almost forgot. If you like this video, hit the like button, hit the share button, leave a comment down below what you think about this and the video. If you've ever dealt with this person, I suggest you guys all go to Facebook and leave negative reviews and all of that jazz. You guys can go ahead and do that on my behalf. I'd appreciate it. And spam all of his social media. I'll appreciate it. It'll be in the comment section down below, pinned, as well as the description of this video as I type it up when I upload this. And everyone's favorite part, stay perfectly imperfect. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.